Hi everyone, I'm the Geekish Gamer and welcome to the Geekish Gamer Show. Usually I talk about something related to video games or usually related to, corruption in business or something like that. But I thought I would take this time, since I'm rebranding the channel as you can see, into talking and asking the viewers about questions they want to ask me. So I went out, I asked some people what they wanted to ask me. They came back with their responses. Very interesting questions, very good questions. So this is kind of like a Q&A for the Geekish Gamer. So thank you to all who, asked your questions, and well, I'm about to answer them right now. This is to hold you off until a little while, give you a little bit of content till the next time I make a new video, which is going to be next month. So let's begin. I think it's a great question to ask, Lavon, and I think the reason being is because the demographic for these type of videos are usually videos, especially video game related, are for people who are older. And they pick the people who are older, and usually older people do this because, one, they have a lot more experience coming into this. They've played the Sega Genesis, they played the NES, they've been around during these times that we haven't been in. So we really can't express fully the development and the change of what has happened in video games as of from old to new. But they also we also look at these people and we don't make videos about them. Or the reason why younger people don't come out is because they don't know a lot about recording. They don't know a lot about editing and things like that. And we're in a generation where we're the sit and watch rather than the go and do generation. We're just sitting and watching. We're waiting to see what other people are creating instead of creating it ourselves. I think it's the real reason why there aren't that many young YouTubers out here, considerably like me or someone else, because the passion and the drive and the desire to make something is really dimmed by other things, other variables to account for: social media, technology, other things that are, not making you want to create things, more to just watch and listen more than to sit and create. So I think it's our job as people who don't do that regularly to go out and reach these people and tell them, hey, you can create something just like me. All you gotta do is ask. So if that's the answer to your question of why there aren't many young people in YouTube. Current state of the gaming industry is very hard to pinpoint down, because you're in a mix between developers and people and corporations. You have developers who like to create games. You love to make games. I understand. Then they want to carry it on and spread it to people. But they can never spread it to people because by the time they want to, corporations want to cut so many things and make microtransactions and things like that. And it irritates the developers because the developers just want to create a game that's for the people. And, it's their passion. They made this baby and they want to deliver it to many other people. But they can't because people such as corporations keep stopping them from innovating and making moves that they really want to make. That's just the way it is. And we have people arguing about what console is the best console, the Xbox or the PS4. It's been going on for years and years now, but it's becoming rampant to the point where arguments start and you get mad and you cuss out and you make fun of someone with disabilities and blah 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 blah. Very immature things. We sometimes get together as gamers and we do make change happen. For example, the EA and DICE situation for Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the microtransactions. We do make change happen when we all care about it and it's all in one. I feel that if we were to come together very, very often on big issues such as this, we could take down major things. And, with an attitude and as strong as you want to make it, you can literally replay that over and over and over again to other things, such as something being bad, corporations being greedy, bad business practices being done. You can change these things. All it takes is one person and to change a whole domino effect of that. The current gaming state is not healthy at all. I think you're seeing replay. You're not seeing innovation. You're seeing replay. You get a little bit of innovation. You get VR and new technology, but we get replayed. Replayed stuff. We get replay. The latest thing that I've seen that's a really good game is Hellblade's Newest Sacrifice. That's the latest game that I've seen with innovation to it. Sound design, made by an indie developer, but it's kind of like a AAA game. It's like it's a mix of a little different, a bit of everything. And it's a great game, but it's innovative. There's a lot of other games that are very innovative too, such as Cuphead with this cartoony, type of style going on here. and its difficulty and things like that. So there's a lot of there's some innovation going on, but it's not nothing like, ooh, big, you know, something that's like back during the generation of, you know, the Nintendo days or the Sega days or the Atari days. I think we just keep going less and less and less innovative because we're too busy copying and copying and copying. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with copying, but inspiration should be followed through with many ways. And the reason why is because corporations like EA, corporations like Activision, corporations like Ubisoft, corporations like, you know, many other do these bad business practices and stop the creative flow from many games progressing. There are so many games that could have been out. Silent Hill, for example, one game I forgot what it's called real quick. I just forgot what it was called. It was supposed to be for Microsoft, but then it was canceled. That game was canceled. It would have been a great game. So there's so many games that could be great and innovative, but they get stopped immediately because corporations just don't know how to carry it. They just block creative flow. I want to be a waterbender. I'll be a waterbender because water is really able to adapt to different situations, and I like water a lot. Matter of fact, I'm drinking it right now. Waterbending. Experience, knowledge, experience and knowledge, experience and knowledge. Every single time I make a new video, that is what I do every single time. Each thing I research, each thing I get. I would love to have a good amount of subscribers. I would love to have a good amount of likes, but I like it when I gain something in the process, and that thing I gain is knowledge every single time to make innovation and make it better. So what I want to gain out of this is just more innovation and more knowledge. That's all I want to gain. Subscribers and likes as well, but if we're talking outside of that, knowledge, a community of people to talk to, discuss better you know, contributions to the gaming industry. You know, I just want better things. I just want better things for the gaming industry. I assume you're talking about Republicans and Democrats. I really don't know what to say. I'm a mix of both. I'm a mix of Democrat. I'm a mix of conservative. You know, I want sometimes free things, and sometimes I want people to do what they want to do, and sometimes people should handle the situations themselves. Kind of like the public school system and charter schools, like that type of thing. And sometimes I want structure. Sometimes I want the government to provide for its people. You created it, and you made all these rules for people. You might as well follow through and help us as well while you're at it. So it's a little sticky situation going on there. I'm a mix of both. A Democrat, a little bit of Republican. I wouldn't say I'm just one particular party, one set mindset. There's many things that come throughout the whole entire American way. And there's a lot of things that come and situations that come that make you change your ideals and how you feel about certain situations. It's not until you open your mind and see people think differently than you, and you accept some of their differences, that you think different, and your ideals become a lot different than what they are perceived to be in the first place from you. In the government, the largest amount of corruption occurs in the Capitol. It's the biggest place of where this happens. It's where all corporations meet. It's where all business people meet. It's where all political parties meet to conform into one thing to make a bill. But there's a lot of transactions. There's a lot of lobbying, which isn't a bad thing, depending on who you're working with. But there's a lot of lobbying going on. There's a lot of secrets being passed. There's a lot of secrecy being met. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of trade. There's a lot of things that we don't even know about happening. And it's quite a bad thing. It's quite a bad. It's very, very irritating because the government can do all these different things, but it can't do selective things that you want them to do because they're too busy focusing on something else. For example, a National Rifle Association. A man has used a bump stock to make a fully automated weapon to kill multiple people. And what do? You would think. I mean, it's just smart to say, oh, let's pass a gun law so we can, you know, restrict these people who want guns and who have felonies and stuff like that so they can stop. That's not what happens. It's like a whole different, you start thinking differently, like, why? What is the purpose? Aren't you supposed to help? That's what I'm talking about, the government structure thing. That's when the ideology comes in, back to what C.A.P.O was talking about. It's a different structure going on every single time depending on the situation. We have a government that can't pass a law, most likely probably because the NRA is lobbying and paying off people, most likely. But still, we have a government that can't just, people are shooting using guns, and they have warrants, and they have this, and they have that, and we're still giving them guns. It's very easy to give them guns. Let's find a different way to strip these guns from them, and we just are like, nope, we're not going to pass a law. Oh, no, we're just going to take away the bump stock. That's all we got to do. No, there has to be more to this. There has to be more to this. Guns are made to defend people, not to kill other people. It doesn't make any sense. And you could bring up all the statistics you want, we don't, anything else like that. You look at countries that have stricter gun laws and look at their death rates compared to us when it comes to shooting and deaths caused by a gun. Then tell me that we could not adopt any of their laws about guns or restrictions on guns. It is the right to bear arms, but it's also not unconstitutional to make laws that restrict some uses on them, because you still will have the right to bear arms. My solution for this is an anti-corruption act. It's a very hard thing to do. If you look it up, it's a really big thing. I've always thought about this. The Anti-Corruption Act is a type of thing where you can pass it through states because it's easy. I mean, to pass it through your senators and things like that to get it for a statewide approval. But it's hard to put into the Capitol because this is a lot more stronger than the Senate with the House of Representatives and stuff like that. And the Anti-Corruption Act would stop certain things. If you're lobbying, you can't vote. No. If you're lobbying, you can't vote. You should have no purpose of voting if you're lobbying. No, that's not how it goes. It stops a lot of things that are going wrong with the businesses. Because really, what no one likes to tell you is that it's not the politics that are controlling the government. It's the corporations that are controlling the government. It's the main thing that's controlling the government. Why couldn't no one see that? It's the same reason why so many things get passed and underhanded every single time. But to stop this, I think the solution for this would be to pass an anti-corruption act in the Capitol itself to stop lobbyists, to stop discrepancies of different corruption going on, and a lot of other different things, and rules being placed. Not all of them can represent us. The House of Representatives definitely do not represent a lot of us rich, old white men who have degrees in so many other different things. That's not one thing that represents the American society we live in today. It does not. It clearly doesn't. Very difficult. We have a lot of things going on right now in this country. We have racism at being a big thing. One of the big things. It was only until Trump got elected that this big scab was ripped off, and many people started talking about you're the N-word and stuff like that. It was only until that happened where you had this big uprise of this. And that's because many people perceived his promotion of these racist slurs and antics that he was doing. If you say all Mexicans are rapists, many people who are going to listen to you and be like, oh, all Mexicans are rapists. That's what's going to happen. And, people keep trying to defend him. Oh, it's just his words, it's just his placement. If it's just his words and it's just his placement, we need to find someone else immediately to talk for him. Because you can't make excuses for this. You're the president of the United States, a collective people of country. A collective country of people from around the world. You speak for a lot of people. You speak for a lot of people. You don't speak for yourself. You speak for people because we chose you. We chose you. Or the Electoral College chose you. But at the end of the day, some people chose you. And you're not giving what we feel. I don't feel compelled to write to my president. I don't feel that at all. I don't feel compelled to talk. I don't feel compelled to say anything about him. I don't see him as my president. Because he's a representation of our country and me. And I don't see him as a representation of me. I don't go around telling people that if you're a Mexican, you're a rapist. And Obama should have been naming Islamic terrorism, which at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because terrorism is terrorism. He doesn't have to have a religion class based on it. It's terrorism. You're terrorizing many people. Are we going down? Yes. I think we are going down. There's so many issues. There's sexual, gender issues that sound stupid. There's political issues that's like, what is he even saying? There's, you know, man against woman, sexual harassment thing going on. That's happening. There are charges being met on some of these men who don't even do anything. That's happening. So you continue to see a slope. You keep hearing it. They keep driving to do some good things. Oh yeah, it's good in this part. Oh yeah, it's good in this part. Mainly, it's bad. It's really bad, and I don't like it at all to begin with. Trust and believe me. By the end of, we hit like mid 2020, we will go up. We will be going up, or at least by 2020, we will. The 2025 or 2024, we will hit a block, but we will go up, and you will see it happen. I don't know what's going to be able to cause that change. I don't know if I will say the change is definitely going to happen, but trust and believe me, a change is going to come soon. So you be prepared for that, because it could affect a lot of people. We could have a war going on right under our noses right now when we wouldn't even know. That's just how the way the world works. So in my opinion, the outlook of the future of our country looks like it's going down to me. It's not looking pretty well right now. It's not looking pretty well right now. But we will succeed and we will go. And, you know, that's just my opinion. I wanted to become a YouTuber because I like talking about video games and I love to express opinions. Later on, it came to a thing where I like to expose bad business practices that these companies were doing to other people. And I just want to become a YouTuber because I love the passion of creating something for many people to view. Also, many of my inspirations are Angry Joe. We have Jacksepticeye. We have a lot of Let's Players, but mainly the people who are on YouTube aren't my inspirations. The people in real life, like Tupac Shakur, Oprah, Obama, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, these people inspire me to make and create videos. It's really not a YouTuber, it's really just people. And these people really, I really love, make me want to create more entire content. But I really do look up to Angry Joe. And if I made a video with him one day, it'd be pretty awesome. Retweet this to Angry Joe. Retweet it at Angry Joe Show. All right? Do it now. That's a good question. Martin Luther King was much more of a peaceful man. Obviously, as we know, his biggest influence was Mahatma Gandhi. He was a very influential man, and he also was a very non-violent person. And that carried all out to his life. Malcolm X was a much more violent person, but the story that a lot of people don't like to tell you is, even though he was a violent person, after his trip to Mecca, before he died, he started to learn some of that peace and wanted to do things peacefully. After he went to Mecca, he realized that it isn't just a black thing, it's everything. It's everything. White people, black people. When you saw people who were Muslim, everyone was everyone. You know, people were Muslim all over the place. You couldn't just pinpoint one black person to being Muslim and that was it. No, white people were Muslim. You had Mexicans. You had a lot of different people being Muslim over in that country in Mecca, and there was a lot of different things worshiping a lot of different people worshiping Islam. Now he comes back and he's like, okay, we can be peaceful. We can talk. We can do things with people. So let's be peaceful. It's not about this black thing anymore. I picked Malcolm X simply because Martin Luther King teaches you, if white people do something to you, turn the other cheek. That's what he, and that, if we're looking at those terms, we're looking at those times. He teaches you that if white people do something to you, turn the other cheek and mentally do something else and move on and try to create something for the greater good. I like that. It's great. I'm not like that. I'm a fighter. And I fight with my words, I fight with my intellect, and I don't really use my fists. I fight with words and intellect. And words are very sharp for me. Malcolm X, I like a lot. I like more. Because his association with trying to fix the structure of the African American group. No one else. Not a lot of people, and it's okay to help a lot of people. I don't disagree. It is okay to help as many people as you want to. White, black, Mexican, it doesn't matter. In this day and age, I even still like today, and even back at this time, the structure you should be placing your focus on is on African American people. We started the Civil Rights Movement because of African American people. We started slavery with African American people, all right, or African people. Okay, we started. Now we didn't start slavery because slavery was already a big thing before slavery even started with Africans. But you know, the mainstream slavery we think about now, which is African, is in our brains, and that's what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm referring to this whole entire speech, this whole entire time. We need to focus on us. And if you're white, if you're Mexican, if you're someone else, I feel you do the same thing. Focus on your people, because there's no way I can come to you and tell you, hey, you should start doing this more. Your people should start doing this more. When we don't have our stuff together, how am I going to talk to you and us? We're beating each other, stealing from each other, killing each other. We're doing these things. So I can't come to you and say, hey, we need to come to, you should stop doing this. They're not going to listen to me. They're going to be like, nigga, please, you're not even good at yourself. Before we can ever innovate and change the world, we need to have our groups come together. We need to unify and electrify the African American, or the Africans or Americans or blacks, whatever you want to call it. We need to come together, all right? And it's not just about a black or white thing. It's not about a black or white thing. It's about good versus evil. Good versus evil. That's what it's about. It's about corruption versus what's right. It's about what's right versus corruption. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. You can do all that black and white stuff like you want to, but let's think of it at a bigger picture. It's about what's right and what's wrong. What's wrong is keeping people from learning something. What's wrong is holding people in slavery. What's wrong is killing so many Africans because they don't want to do what you want back in the 1800s and 1700s. What's wrong is making a letter called the William Lynch letter to go and practice movements that are still done today for African American people and blacks in general. What's wrong is these certain things. What's right is unifying and electrifying our people. What's right is not killing each other. What's right is learning from each other. What's right is if you do something to me, of my people, you're hurting me soulfully. And I believe you'll find that the government can't fix it. The court system, none of it can fix it. Only us can fix this. Only people can fix this. And that's what it's always been. Only us, only our people will be able to fix this, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to take us to fix it. And I don't know when the change is going to come, but we will unify and we will come together in a way you've never seen us before. Stronger than the civil rights movement, I'm pretty sure of it, through the next coming and recent years. And the next time you will see us as people, we will be unified in a way that can never be stopped, ever, not by anyone, because we will be so deep and so intertwined with each other and our culture that we will never be able to separate. And we will learn from each other's mistakes and we'll come together. That's what we want. Unification, electrifying a movement that is stagnant. You know, as Tupac put it, the Underground Railroad is on a rise. Next question. Obviously not. I mean, come on now. We wouldn't have America today if it wasn't for slaves. Having this thing in everything in this country, the majority of 99.9% of things in this country is built by slaves. Obviously. I mean, you have to be stupid not to think this. Even the White House is built by slaves. And with this even being said, we have two things to even interact with these things and talk about. Constitutional Convention happens. Alexander Hamilton doesn't like slavery. He vouches to end slavery. Many people didn't like it, but they knew we would have to do it for the greater good because we were in a war debt. We needed for slavery to return because actually slavery was paying most of our war debts, and it was the most economical game back then. So we needed a lot more money. And where do you get the money from? Slavery. We can't end it because we need it for money to end this debt and get out of it more. So that's the reason why. If we didn't have slaves, what would have been the economical gain? Trading. That wasn't enough. What would have been enough? What would have been enough? Slavery. There you go right there. 2. Civil War happens, obviously. What makes this, and slaves and blacks and Africans after the 15th Amendment is passed, I think. 13th Amendment is passed for no slavery by Abraham Lincoln. We have people coming in here and saying, okay, well, black people can start joining the civil rights movement. Not civil rights movement, but they can start joining the Civil War. They join the Civil War. We fight for a war which we shouldn't even be in because you caused this. We didn't cause this. We shouldn't be in this war. You made this happen. So why am I even in this war with you guys fighting? Again, here we go. When the shit gets thick, who's the ones you call? I think it's pretty safe to say when shit gets thick in history, who are the number one people they call? Us. Me, African, you, everybody. I mean, they're calling us when shit gets thick. So yeah, I believe that if people didn't get slaves, we wouldn't have America today. Having the stuff in this country is built by slaves, and also it's a great economical gain. It would have put us more in debt. We probably would have lost the country if some economical occurrence would have happened where we couldn't support each other as a country anymore, and things would have broke off, and we wouldn't have America like we have today. I would say that. I feel that money and power is a very big thing. Money, I feel like your knowledge is a lot more better than power and money. Knowledge gets you power, and power gets you money. Or, well, knowledge gets you money, and money gets you power. That's how it works. Money, some people don't know what to do with it. Some people are greedy with it. Some people really don't know what to do with it. Power, everybody has a potential power to have. Everybody can do it. I can do it. You can do it. Everyone has the power to do anything they want to. It depends on how you use it when you get it. It's what's very different. Not everybody can get the knowledge, though. Not everyone can get the knowledge, and that's when the power comes in. Not everyone can get the knowledge, so that means not everyone can make that money to get that power, because money is power, and power is knowledge. Knowledge. Obviously, I am. You know the name. You know the face. You know. Anyway, yes, I will be playing video games with my subs. If you want to, you can just, type in the comments or ask me. I have a Twitter right in the About section, and even in this video, you can go ask me if you want to play video games. Just send me your gamer tag, obviously. Yeah. Alright, that's the end of the video. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to all your questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to a lot of other people's questions. Internet's working pretty bad over here, so I tried to figure out some of your meanings and your questions, but I really couldn't because the internet's bad over here. But thank you for watching. I liked this Q&A session. If you feel like it's too long, because this shit is 31 minutes. If you feel like this is too long, you can skip through parts of the video and, feel like, if it's good or not. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later on the next Geekish Gamer show. Rebranding is a thing. We're doing it now, and by the time you come back to see this channel, it will be newly formed and newly made. So thanks for watching. Bye.